290.
And here's Tony Pond. Now, Tony Pond also. Now, Tony Pond is the man, of course, in the Metro, who had a diabolical year once when on the very first stage he went off. And my word, he doesn't seem to have learned his lesson. Or is that being unfair, Tony?
I think that they've already weighed up what's happening there. They've seen the first two cars over the top, and the message has got back that it's nothing really to worry about. There's plenty of space to get on the grass and enjoy it. But Tony looks here to be shaping up very well for a very fast time. Obviously, he's determined to lose that reputation of the early accidents, and he badly wants to succeed.
Well, Tony Pond does want to succeed. 41 years old, one of the stalwarts of British rallying, the man who hasn't had a good season with the MG Metro, but this could in fact perhaps be the last time we see Tony Pond in a World Championship rally. He says he doesn't like this type of rallying, although he always gives of his best, and I think we may see him in the World Touring Car Championship next year, but at the moment this is the Pond of old, isn't it?
Yes, he is, and he's really going to make sure he enjoys his last event. Last year the entire British public were carrying the car around. They were waving Union Jacks all over the country, and they were following the progress of the Metro with great interest. I think it'll be the same again this year. Tony Pond is definitely flying the flag for Britain. He's our leading driver at the moment.
Well, it's rather sad to say, Tony, isn't it, that the best result this car has had, in fact, was the third place here on the rally. They've decided to take shortcuts, that's it, isn't it?
Now, that's it. Now, this has determined the pattern for the later guys. Now, they're going to wonder what to do, but all the top 20 will probably start aiming for those tracks, knowing that people have deliberately gone there. They haven't slid on there by accident. That was a deliberate decision by Marco Allen. Tony Pond's picked it up quickly. And it'll be interesting to see if Juha Kankkunen, the next car, does the same thing.
Not sure what the badminton gardeners think of it.
Hard to get a place in the Lancia team, and he's got it. He's not going to lose it.
Well, here on the line, the second British driver, Malcolm Wilson, 31 years old, from Workington, co-driver Nigel Harris, and what can he do in the MJ Metro? Let's see him go around, Tony.
Now into the right hand. Oh no, he's treating it with more respect than teammate Pond. He's kept off the grass. This looks like a very promising drive on this stage. He set the fastest time on the first stage last year on the Lombard RAC at Nottingham, if you remember, and maybe he's going to do the same again.
Malcolm Wilson out there in the centre of the early part of the stage at the moment.
It's starting to rain pretty heavily now, so of course the track will get slippery, but I shouldn't think it'll affect Malcolm at this stage.
Malcolm, of course, began like you, Tony. He was a co-driver, but he began at the age of 13 and
Indeed.
Still carried on.
Indeed he did, and he's a Lakelander like I am, and I remember doing a rally with his father, Ken, and Malcolm was sitting in the back seat, age 13.
And he is, of course, the only driver who won the British National Rally twice. He had a very bad accident in the Scottish Rally, but he came back to finish third in the 1981 RAC Open. Of course, he's had a go in the four-wheel drive Audi Quattro as well, and ran his own team in 1985. But here he is, one of the stars of the Metros, a man who we think could perhaps be the next main British driver. Do you agree?
I agree entirely. I think he is the fastest British driver at the moment, and he's had a very good year, really. He's impressed a lot of people this year with his two major drives in the World Championship. He also went over to Finland to practice for the 1,000 Lakes and actually won one of their national events. And really, I mean, there's no other Briton that's ever done that, so he's put his name in the history books already.
He finished 10th on the 1,000 Lakes, in fact, so he really surprised them. This is the tricky bit.
Yes, Malcolm's just...
What the badminton gardeners are going to make of this, I do not know.
Well, there'll be plenty of sale of lawn seed next week, I should think.
Now the target is Blomqvist, 2 minutes 9.8,
and he's
not doing badly. My word, this is good. Flying finish. I would say he's fourth position overall, superb and without any excitement.
Yes. And here's another fast Brit, David Llewellyn now. The winner of the Circuit of Ireland, the first international win for a Metro, given to them by David Llewellyn, a farmer from Haverfordwest.
Oh dear, he's losing some time here. New Welsh hero, only 26 years old. But this is the leaderboard with good news, as you can see, for Britain, with Mark Lovell already showing his pace. His fourth fastest, but Blomqvist, who didn't look so quick, really setting the pace there. And of course, the championship leader, second fastest. So I think there are something like 9 of these Metros in the event, aren't there? And David Llewellyn, another Brit who really wants to do well, and as you said earlier, gave the MG Metro its first ever international success when he won the Circuit of Ireland. He began with karting, which is not always the way for rally drivers.
Not always, but it's pretty good practice. And also you'd be surprised how many farmers have become good rally drivers. They're used to driving onto the grass and a bit of agricultural motoring, as David is demonstrating today.
He's an all-round sportsman. In fact, he's represented Pembrokeshire at rugby. But this, I'm not sure. I think he's probably going to be slowest to the Brits. Oh.
No, I think this is rather an untidy drive, really. It's neither one thing nor the other.
Now, in the pouring rain, this ought to be Jimmy McRae, one of the most popular drivers in the country. 3 times he's been British champion. Unfortunately, he lost his title this year on the flanks. But a man who's very, very popular, isn't he?
He is. He's amazingly popular because Jimmy, of course, is 43 years of age, didn't start rallying until he was 31, and he only started because he used to be a scramble rider, came watching a rally in Scotland, saw Roger Clark, and I believe I was sitting next to him at the time and thought he'd take up this game. Jimmy McRae, the flying plumber, we call him, because he is a plumber and central heating engineer in Scotland. He's a professional rally driver and 4 times British champion.
Well, how would a professional rally driver's salary compare with a plumber's? That's unfair, because you don't know what plumbers get.
I should think he'd have to do a lot of central heating fitting to equal the amount that he gets paid by the team to drive the MG Metro. The works professionals, the top international professionals, are earning figures well in excess of 6 figures, you know, up to £200,000 retainer for a year for the top Finns, the top international superstars.
And yet in this event we have people who pay, what, £5,000 just to enter?
Oh, absolutely, and we find people who save up all year and buy a car, build it up, save up the coupons, collect all the stamps at the petrol stations and carry on like that.
What would the difference in prices of the cars be? I mean, we said £5,000 for someone to prepare a car to really have a serious go at this.
Well, yes, exactly, that's the bottom end. And the top end, of course, these are 6-figure cars, there's no question about it. And the development budgets that go into them, it's virtually impossible to put a price on them, rather like a Formula 1 car, which you'll know very well, Barry. I think this is a steady drive, actually. I mean, I hold great hopes for Jimmy McRae's performance.